Now this mug of tea is lush. Scalding hot as if the kettle's just boiled. That is cracking. And I've not used a stove at all. I've invested in a flask, a proper flask, you know, that keeps hot water hot and cold water cold. That other thing that I've got, that blue one, that's not meant to keep hot water hot, I don't think. I think it's just like it keeps, it's not robust enough, do you know what I mean, to retain the heat of the water. But this is a proper flask, and it says it keeps hot water up to 24 hours. And it was 10:30 when I boiled the kettle this morning for this, and it is now 25 to 5. So that's, what's that? 4.5, 5.5, 6 hours, isn't it? That's 6 hours. And that is just as hot as when I boil the kettle. Oh yeah, yeah. Now it'll be interesting to see whether it can maintain the heat until morning. There's a main road that goes through. We're near Ribble and Hawes, and it's where everybody gravitates on a nice day or on a nice weekend. When they go to the Dales, that's where they gravitate to, especially the bikers. And you'll hear them screaming by every so often. So it's not going to be a peaceful one, I don't think. But I needed to get away, and I wanted to just camp. I didn't want to do a long hike. I'm about just short of a mile away from the car, so not far really. The terrain was quite hard going, quite boggy and hummocky, and God, it was hard work, and it was, you know, put up a nice little gradient, so I had to take it steady coming up here. But yes, it's what you call this is proper wild camping, because I'm in amongst the wild grass. A lot of wild grasses. Apparently one of the grasses is called elephant grass. But this area where I am is being properly rewilded by the National Trust, the Yorkshire Dales National Trust. And they only open this here for 2 months on a weekend after breeding season, you know, the birds and everything. Once they've done all the funky stuff, they allow somebody to camp on here on a weekends from the end of July till the end of September, I think. So it's very limited. But yes, the habitat here for many birds and wild animals will be absolutely huge. Yeah, there's something called elephant grass. Now I'm assuming the elephant grass is that really, it's real tall and substantial, do you know what I mean? Quite hard grass. I've definitely brought the right tent. I was tempted to try and bring me Keb Dome 2, but I wasn't too sure. Something inside me was saying, Greg, you're not going to have the space to do it. You're not going to find enough flat space to put it up. Stick with your Abisco Light 1. which is the one I've chosen in the end. Yeah, and I think it's the right choice. I feel I'm getting a bit paranoid about ticks, because whenever I see tall grass, I think ticks. So while I was tromping through all this and putting the tent up and all the rest of it, I was wiping down my legs every so often. I've put some of that spray. Oh, that I'm really made up because I've got hot brew. I think it was one of my viewers, you know, when I was talking about not being able to have a hot brew because my blue, and he said, why don't you get this is Incognito Botanical PMD insect repellent, DEET free, ages 6 months, and all destinations are clinically proven. Look there. So yeah, I've just given that another bit of a blast. This is the Magcheer. You can see that? Made by Magcheer. And it keeps freezing cold drinks up to 48 hours and hot drinks up to 24 hours. I'm not being sponsored by this, by the way. I'm just kind of letting you know, going through what it's got. On the base, on the bottom, you can screw the bottom off and put your tea bags or whatever you want, nibbles or something, that in the bottom. Little. So I put my tea bags in there. On the top you've got your cup, and then and there's a lid, and then you put your liquid in there. That there, I want to be careful here, this screws off. Oops. And you put either tea leaves or dried fruit and stuff like that, you know, so if you're going to do a fruit tea, you put all whatever you're going to brew in there, and then you screw that back onto that, and then pop it in there. Clever that, isn't it? So, but I want to do that with tea bags or tea leaves, because it would just like, have you ever had tea when it's been brewing for too long? It's not nice, not nice. So yes, if you're doing like a fruit tea or something like that, and that's it, really. It can do all the singing and dancing, but the main thing is, does it keep your hot water hot enough to have a nice brew wherever you get to? Well, in 6 hours, that cup of tea is just as hot as if I'd have well, obviously not exactly as hot as if I'd have been on a stove. But that is a good cup of tea. What's for tea tonight, Greg? I hear you say. Well, because it was recommended on my last video to have some Indian nibbles, you know, samosas, badges and stuff like that, and a beer. And I did the walk, didn't I? But spiders are trying to get in. Yes, so I had my beer, but I didn't have any food, did I? Because I wasn't hungry. So I thought, what better to have some Indian nibbles, seeing as it's still non-cooking. I'm not able to cook. So today's, I'm waffling on, aren't I? Today's tea is samosas and bhaji, washed down with a Guinness 0.0. This was recommended by two people. One being my sister and Claire, and I can't remember who the other one was. But yes, so it's been recommended by two people. So I'm just unsure though whether it'll go with eating. I didn't know whether a lager would be better with samosas and bhajis, or whether this would be all right. But it's a bit lumpy and bumpy around here. So I've just been mindful that I don't want to. So I'll just put it there. So yes, let's get eating, because I'm starving. I got one chicken samosa and one vegetable samosa, and I said I'll just put them in the same bag. So I got to be honest, I don't know which is which. I just realised I need really to. I need to put some anti-bac on my hands, fingers, really. Since it's finger food, and there we go. And my hands have been everywhere. So anyway, I haven't got a glass to put it in. Woo! Oh! Oh, it's nice. Oh, that is nice. From what I remember, not much difference really between the alcoholic and the non-alcoholic. Apart from this isn't going to make me fall over. Right. So where was we? The samosas. So I've got a vegetable samosa in here and a chicken samosa. But because I said put them in the same bag, it's a bit of a lottery which one I'm going to get first. Look very nice. It's about like you've got the meaty stuff, the filling, right at the bottom there, and then you got a real big crispy bit at the top. So here we go. It is very dry inside. So a drink is very much needed. Yeah, this is a vegetable one, I think. And crispy bits like. Quite hot. Quite spicy. And because they're dry, they do take some chewing. But they are nice. very golden. A nice golden colour. The nod of approval. Very nice. But they are very nice. It's a genuine nod of approval. Now it's the onion bhaji. Excuse me, now again the onion bhaji. They look nice. The flavour's good, but very dry again. Now I know onion bhajis are not supposed to be dry. So I don't know whether this is because they're an old batch, but they're definitely not been freshly fried recently. One thing I am very aware of, I'm not getting a cold, or I got a cold out. I get clogged sinuses. So when you're eating and you're having to chew and you're having to rely on your nose to breathe as opposed to your mouth, I really struggle breathing. What do I think of that overall? I think the goods could have been fresher, in all honesty. But I understand how difficult it is to keep everything really, really fresh. Stuff like that especially. Unless you're making it yourselves. And you just batch cooking, you know, for the amount you know that you're going to sell that day or the following day. So these generally, when they bring them in from some factory that probably makes them, or small, could have been a small manufacturer maybe. But yeah, the flavour was there. Not so much in the onion bhaji. I wasn't getting a lot of onion. Yes, I'm kind of underwhelmed really. But I feel satisfied. Just being laid here. Just listening. Apart from the road in the distance. Lovely and peaceful. Just relaxing. I think it's going to be an early night tonight. I am feeling tired. Unless anything happens during the night. I'll say good night. And I'll see you tomorrow. Morning everyone. 24 hours hot. No, it's tepid now. And it's about 8:30 in the morning. So, but at least it stayed hot, you know, for my first brew. And it would have been still quite hot if I'd have had a brew last night before I went to sleep. But, yeah, very warm, just warm. But, got a bit of a dry mouth, do you know what I mean, when it's, yeah. So it is wetting the whistle somewhat. Yeah, I just hope it's not a cold or anything like that coming on. It's got something on the glass there. Yes. A bit of a... I think it's because I'm on a slant and stuff like that. I'm not exactly really comfortable last night. But, so a lot of on and off. Yeah. There's a bit of condensation inside. But that's because there's been no wind. It's just been absolutely... So yeah, it was just a bit of dew. It is what I call a dew. Look, morning dew. Very, very wet. Saturated actually inside the outer tent, not on the inner tent. The inner tent's fine. It's just so yeah, I'll have to try and give that a bit of a wipe down before we go. Yeah, it's quite mild, but it was cold last night. It was cold. I didn't get cold. I just knew it was cold, you know what I mean? So I'm glad I brought that. This sleeping bag, the Mountain Warehouse Microlite 1400. Yeah, it did the job last night. But with the sun kind of beating down on the tent now, it's getting a bit warm in here. It's a bit of a shame if it had been a bit hotter. But, so it's done. What time did I? It's nearly 24 hours, isn't it? If it was 10:30. So it's done 22. This is the 22nd hour. So it's done not too bad. Still got a warm drink, not a hot drink, but a warm drink. And for a first cup in the morning, not too bad. But yes, is it a win? The flask? I'd say so. I think it's a bit of a win. Get a bit of caffeine in me as well. Yeah, I think it's a win. I mean, it was rocking hot when I got here. It was after 6 hours. I did fancy a brew last night before I went kind of in between sleeps. Oh. But I wanted to hold on to it till this morning. And considering, you know, it's a flask and not a stove, you know, it's done pretty well. Shall we have a look outside? I think so. Apart from the ground, not being very even and not being able to, unless you're treading all the grass down, which you don't really want to do because it's a nice little meadow. Yeah, it's difficult to find a, you know, a relatively flat space. I'm not going through all them nettles just to have a little peekaboo in there. I think that's why they boarded that up there, that door there, because I think people were going in and having a little look and walking around, even though you're not supposed to, because it's derelict. I suppose it's more health and safety in it. But yeah, there's just a load of nettles as well, barricading that that entrance. But I bet it's some years old, that. Look at them slates. Massive slates. Yeah, I bet it's some years old, that. Yeah, lovely morning. Absolutely lovely morning. Well, no breakfast this morning. I ate it last night. When I woke up, I was a bit hungry. It was a flapjack, you know. I should have got 2 flapjacks, shouldn't I? Yeah, so no breakfast this morning. Not that you'll have wanted to sit and watch me eat a flapjack. Yeah, it's just about getting packed up and put away now, I think, really, innit? I might let the sun try and dry out my tent a little bit, and then yeah, get it all packed away. Hi guys, well, all packed away and ready to go. As you can see, as always, leave no trace, and there is some trace, you know, there's where the grass has been flattened, but that's unavoidable really. I can't even do anything to sort of like fluff it up or anything like that, but it'll soon recover itself. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It was a peaceful one. I fell asleep. I was tired out when I got here last night. I don't know why. I've not done anything energetic, but when I got here I just felt so tired, so I think I ended up going to sleep around about 9 o'clock, the latest I think it was, and I didn't really wake up properly until about 8 o'clock. On and off. I was on and off. It was a restless sleep, but I got plenty of sleep, if that makes any sense. Well, there's nothing else to say really now, is there, apart from the usual, and that without further ado, until next time, I'll see thee.